I'm Paul,
I'm Mark.
and this is Moonraker.
Where we review every James Bond movie, canonical James Bond movie that has ever been made.
Unfortunately, canonical means Roger Moore.
Unfortunately, yes. We can pretend that he isn't. But tonight we take a look at You Only Live Twice, Sean Connery's latest outing as James Bond. And in this episode of this movie, he is dispatched to Japan after American and Soviet spacecraft vanish mysteriously. Each nation is blaming the other amidst the Cold War, and it's almost leading to World War III. Bond has to travel to a remote island in Japan to find the perpetrators who are actually causing this war, and he runs, finally, after so many movies, face to face with his ultimate enemy.
Bond is dead.
Bond is alive. Kill Bond! Now!
We have 7 categories in which we rate these movies.
Mhm.
We're not going to go into them and explain what they all are. You'll see them as they unravel. This is probably not your first episode of Moonraker,
Or ours.
nor ours, but play along if you want down below. And while you're down there, do all the YouTube things. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss a single one of our videos, whether it's Moonraker or any of the other plethora
Yes.
of series that we do.
Kill Bond! Now!
For tonight's movie, You Only Live Twice, we have Sean Connery returning as James Bond. We have Akiko Wakabayashi as Aki, who's an agent with the Japanese Secret Service. We have Tetsuro Tamba as Tiger Tanaka, who's the head of the Japanese Secret Service. Miyahama as Kissy Suzuki, who is an AMA girl agent for working for Tiger. We have Teru Shimada as Mr. Osato, who's a Japanese industrialist secretly affiliated with Spectre. Karen Dorr as Helga Brandt, or Number 11, who's a Spectre assassin. And then, of course, we get the regular returning cast: Lois Maxwell as Miss Moneypenny, Desmond Llewellyn as Q, Bernard Lee as M. And we get Deco Henderson, who is James Bond's first contact in Japan, played by Charles Gray, who, ironically enough, becomes Blofeld in a later movie. And then Donald Pleasance is revealed as Ernst Stavro Blofeld, the head of Spectre, for the first time we see his face.
Donald Pleasance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on behalf of my co-host, and I would like to apologize for any butchering of any of the names that we use moving forward.
Correct. I know Miyahama is correct. But other than
That one's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I wrote space and not Roger Moore in space. Oh man, I love this opening. I give it a 007.
Okay.
I love this opening. Oh yeah, sorry, we're gonna be forgetting my own show.
Don't forget
I give it a 007 because it has so much to do with what happens in the movie going forward. It's not just like just a random James Bond does a spy thing.
Yep.
And even though he is in the opening sequence, and I love the Mystery Science Theater looking ship that eats the other ship. I love this open title sequence.
I also am going to give it a 007. It's probably one of my favorite opening sequences because it has three parts. The space attack,
Hmm.
which as a little kid was just cool as hell,
Oh yeah.
and I still very much. I think we'll probably talk later to the Thunderbirds influence
Yes.
on this movie. Very Thunderbirds esque. And then we get the plot is immediately set up. We get the meeting between U.S. and USSR and Britain, and they've already said if this continues, we're gonna have a Cold War. So you immediately get the plot,
Hmm.
and then we get our man in Hong Kong, James Bond, assassinated. Which is I'm assuming at the time. Because it had been announced that this was his last movie. I was wondering, and people must have
Oh.
been freaking out.
Oh,
in the
like
theater.
somebody else was gonna fill in
Fill in
after
for
the
him.
movie.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so for me, it's just nonstop action.
Yeah.
And watching him get shot was really cool.
Yeah. What was it? Dude said like he would have wanted it this way.
Yes. He died on the job.
That's- as much as I love singing this song, I really don't. It's not one of my favorites. I'm gonna give it a 003.
Okay. 003.
Oh, I guess I could move my own piece, couldn't
Oh, that's okay. I'm right here.
True. That's all I got.
That's all you got. Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. I'm going to rate it quite a bit higher. I'm going to give it a 006. It also is one of my favorite theme songs. I love Nancy Sinatra singing it. I love the faux 60s Asian influence to the music. It's just so cheesy, but that's what I love it.
Yeah.
It's so because this movie is all about cultural appropriation, I mean, pretty much. And so we start with the theme song. And so just because of that, the audacity of the theme song, I have to give it a 006.
lest we get too buried in later on in the video, like this movie really brought the Asian appropriation into cinema to the forefront. I feel like there's so much about this movie, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I give the plots and locations a 006. The locations are top notch. The filming is top notch. You really get the feeling that like they're in Japan. Again, it has that film grade that I love so much that I know is just because it was on film in 1967.
Right.
But there's something about that makes it feel so authentic. It's like From Russia with Love. All the locations, and
Istanbul,
just it's beautiful, and a lot of this is beautiful too. I love how fast paced this thing is. It starts and keeps going, and it only slows down when it goes off the rails.
Yeah,
which we'll probably get to at some point. But Blofeld's Under the Volcano bass is fantastic. The only reason why this doesn't get a 007 is because of when the plot slows down when Bond gets to Japan.
Yeah.
And trains to become a ninja. That's the only reason why it doesn't get a 007, because that bass has been aped so much in spy movies, and in, like we were talking about, the Thunderbirds, all that stuff. It's so mod. It's so like on point for the time.
Yeah.
But 006 for me.
Kill Bond. Now.
I'm going to talk first before I rate.
Okay.
Because I don't have a rating for the plot yet. Can't figure out what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk myself into a rating. So
you're going to see it happen before your very eyes.
As a little kid, and for a good 20 years, You Only Live Twice was one of the... I didn't own all the Bond movies, but I did own this one, and I owned From Russia with Love, and I owned Spy Who Loved Me. And so, because this was, for most of my life, one of my favorite Bond films. And I have to agree with you totally. The action is non-stop in this one.
That finale.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, and just the fact that once Bond comes into the submarine and steps out of the sarcophagus, the barrel at sea, he doesn't quit moving the whole movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nonstop, one situation after another.
Yeah.
And so I want to start with the highlights first. So I love the burial at sea.
Yeah.
Love the fact that it's the first time we get to see him in his naval commander uniform.
Yeah.
So I like
cool.
that part of the plot.
Mhm.
We should have mentioned the fact that Roald Dahl wrote the plot of Charlie and the Chocolate
Yes.
Factory. I guess he was a friend of Ian Fleming's. They had trouble with the script. They didn't like it. They didn't like the book. The book, I guess, is nothing like. There's barely any connection to the book and the movie. They wanted to make On Your Majesty's Secret Service first, but they couldn't. They couldn't find all the locations they needed for that one. So the other positives would be I love the car chases. I love the little Toyota. I think it's a 4000 is what it was
Oh,
called.
that little white
Her
sports car.
her little sports
Hell
car.
yeah, man.
And it's got all of the Bond gadgets in it.
Yep.
But for Japan, I love Tiger Tanaka's lair.
Yeah.
The fact that Bond gets tricked into falling into it, I thought was cool. I love Tiger Tanaka as a plot point and as a character. We kind of get things reversed. So, I love the fact that in the beginning, he's not so sure if Aki is friend or foe.
Yeah.
So he's learned his lesson by now. So he's met many women who end up being Spectre agents, and so I love the fact that until he actually gets the "I love you" code word from Tiger, he's not sure who he's been kidnapped by. The rooftop chase when they go to the Ningpo, and they're being attacked, and there's just that really cinematic pan of Bond fighting all of the wharf workers.
Yeah.
I love that scene. I love how that works.
Yeah.
I love the fact that instead of because it's her car, I mean the ridiculous car chase where the helicopter comes with the magnet and takes the bad guys away. I love that. That's classic. That's awesome. Very Thunderbirds like again.
Because the one guy is
still driving.
It's like, come on.
Yeah. And then to top it all off, we get my favorite line in James Bond, "Kill Bond now!" And so it's my favorite.
It's true. I've heard it my whole life.
Yeah, yes, all the time, I must say. And I also love the fact that so Blofeld, when it's clear, so I didn't realize this till I read in Wikipedia. So clearly, China apparently is behind the plot in Roald Dahl's script.
Okay.
So China's trying to get the U.S. and Russia to bomb themselves out of existence. So when he's speaking to the two Chinese representatives, Blofeld demands more money, and they're like, "Well, that's extortion," and he says, "That's my job. That's what I do."
Yes.
I love all that. So everything. I mean, so if it were just up to all of that and my little kid view of it, it's a 007. But when it goes off the rails, the whole he must become Japanese scene is just it's harder. It's getting harder and harder to get over that scene as an adult now.
I don't even know if it was even necessary.
It wasn't necessary. When they get on the boat, he sits there with his hat down.
Yeah.
He wore a mask as a disguise. He fooled the Japanese assassin into thinking his wounded partner. And
true. Yeah.
So why didn't he just put a mask on and wear the hat? That's all they had to do. And Tiger could have taken the lead. So that whole like creepy.
Yeah.
Just and the bath scene is. I mean, I know that was like a Playboy.
Yes,
thing.
It was very Playboy.
Yeah.
And even if you take out, okay, I've often said how you can't view older things with a modern lens.
Right.
It's ridiculous. But even if you took out the cringiness of the appropriation and just had him like you said, had him like this, it wasn't necessary for all that with the bathhouse and everything.
Yeah.
If only just to like you said, Playboy and flavor it up. But I really think, and I could be off base, but I really think that this movie really started like I don't want like an Asian fetishism.
Oh, it did, yeah, for sure.
Because it really leans into all of it, and it really probably got everybody thinking, "Oh, I'm just going to go to Japan and go to a bathhouse."
Right.
Maybe you can, or you could in the '67.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it definitely it you could almost get up and make a sandwich
Right.
during that.
Yeah, that part bugs me. Yeah. And then the plot makes no effort whatsoever for all three of the main women to fall in love with him.
Yeah, they just
They
kiss him
just
because
they kiss him because, yeah, and I
Yeah.
really don't like that. And
Yeah.
so I mean, Aki is all business. And then all of a sudden, once he's in the bathhouse, she kisses him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't. That didn't make sense. Number 11 of Spectre. See, I guess she really didn't fall for him. I guess it's hard to tell.
I think she
So-
just wanted a piece of that, and then
Yeah, and then go and get rid of him. Yeah, so I hope. And then Kissy Suzuki, it takes a little while longer to convince her, but I didn't like that part. And then the fact that he becomes a expert ninja in 2 days, just I hate that. That's so.
yeah.
Don't give him maybe a couple skills like you, Bonson. You've had training in, ninja, in all kinds of martial arts, but let's give you a couple things. Like here's how you use a throwing star. You may not have known this, or and then the rocket. They do that whole sequence with the rocket guns, the rocket bullets,
And then they never use
and then
them.
they never use them.
that part, and they could was it necessary for him to get ninja training
Right.
when he's killed so many guys
Yeah.
with bare hands,
Yeah.
improvised weapons,
Yep.
bullets, you name it.
Yeah.
He obviously, as a 00 agent, he can repel, he can suction climb,
Right.
all that crazy shit, that it wasn't necessary.
Because all they had to do was he's going. Do you have commandos? Well, because at the time the movie was made, would Japan really have had time to get commandos together after World War II? Well, do you have commandos? Well, yeah. Let me show you my ninjas that I've got.
Well,
And so that's
Japan
it.
wasn't even allowed to have an army.
Correct. So he has a
For-
secret ninja school.
Yes.
That's all they had to do. And then I thought it was cheesy. All right, one perhaps. So for this totally secret ninja training school, 2 Spectre assassins have infiltrated it already,
Yes.
and so I kind of thought that was.
Yeah.
But nothing had been mentioned. Nothing on their side. That
Mhm.
maybe he's with Tiger Tanaka. Well, we've got 2 spies there. Or I could see one being implanted. Because I do think the scene where the ninja kills her is really cool. I mean, because that looked like a real ninja. Like in the dark. He's moving silently, and then
I'm not going to go on about how that's completely implausible, because
No, right.
the opening sequence has a spaceship eating another spaceship.
No, I know, right?
So I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I like as far as like a kung fu sort of.
on
that,
camera.
yeah,
it's,
it looked
it's
cool.
pretty cool.
And then I guess my last thing that is just ridiculous. You said it in the movie. The fact that James Bond misses all the machine guns and the mortars at the volcano.
Yeah.
And
They're just sticking out.
Yes, they didn't come out. Like if they had did a Thunderbirds thing and come out.
Yeah.
And then finally the fact that Blofeld's self-destruct device is an actual volcano.
Yes.
He turns the volcano into a volcano.
That's the best, man. That's what I'm
That's
talking
just
about.
over the
That's
top
what I'm
crap.
talking
Yeah.
about.
So if I suspend all my disbelief and go with my kidness, I give it a 005. I was gonna do less, but I'll give it a 005. Like I said, as a kid, it would have been 007 all the way.
Donald friggin' Pleasance. All right.
Yeah.
The man never turned down a paycheck, and thank God he didn't turn down a paycheck for this one. I love how weird he is in
Yeah.
this movie, and how small he is.
Yeah.
when he's talking to Sean Connery and he's like petting the cat and he's talking to him, it's like, damn, somebody's either very tall or somebody's very small. I couldn't tell you anything about his, killmaster, bodyguard,
Yeah.
other than he looked like Brock Samson.
Right.
But no, for villain henchman, I'm giving it a 006.
Okay.
Only because couldn't really say anything about his hired muscle.
Okay. This is another one where I have to split my vote. So Blofeld, yes, is 007 all the way, especially his portrayal of Blofeld. The fact that we get to, I think, the reversal of expectation. You would think that James Bond's ultimate nemesis would be almost like a James Bond.
Yeah.
Would be like Red Grant from You Only Live Twice. I mean, I'm sorry, from Russia with Love. And so the fact that he is a little squirrely little guy,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. But yeah, I think the henchmen suffer. So we kind of get a bunch of recycled henchmen in this. So I like the original assassin, the Japanese assassin who kind of looks like The Rock with a ponytail. So I liked him, but Mr. Osata is just kind of a businessman. He's not really a great, memorable villain.
Mhm.
And I really think, the repeat of the Ms. Brandt, who's number 11 for Spectre, she's just a complete clone of the red-haired villainess from Thunderball. So they didn't even wait a whole movie to so apparently red-haired women working for businessmen are always going to be Spectre assassins.
Clearly.
And so I hate that. I don't like that
History
at
is
all.
any guy.
Yeah, don't like that. And then I don't like, speaking of Blofeld's henchman, his bodyguard is literally a clone of Red Grant,
Mhm.
but sort of a poor man's grunting big Russian guy for Sean Connery to punch, but nothing happens.
Yes. To do that 1, 2, 3 punch,
yeah.
and then to get his ass knocked over
Yeah.
a couch.
So so for those reasons, I rated it down to 004 because it's half and half. Blofeld's great, henchmen suck.
Kill Bond. Now.
You're probably not going to agree with me on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to give Bond Girls, and that's plural because there's a couple of them.
Yep.
I'm going to give Bond Girls overall a 003. There's a couple reasons why. One, I mean, clearly with Bond movies, they do a pretty good job of picking beautiful women to play these characters.
Yeah.
But as far as their characters go, with the exception of Susie, and in fact how completely competent she is, because she manages to not get shot up by the helicopter with the machine guns. She has Tiger Tanaka 6 through the whole finale. So she's pretty competent, except for that whole, I guess I gotta kiss you now thing. Nobody really stands out as a none of them are like the villainess is not a psychopath, or that kind of. So they're just kind of dull for me. So yeah, 003.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I can almost repeat everything you've said, but in a positive way.
Okay.
So for me, the two Japanese characters, both, so we've got Aki, who is an agent of the Japanese Secret Service. We have Kissy Suzuki, who is kind of Tiger's protege among the islanders. We get our first two extremely competent Bond girls, and who are both. The reason we don't, to me, we don't get a lot of background on them is because, as they both say, it's just business.
Yeah.
They are agents. So I love the super powerful. They're both very competent agents. Aki only dies by pure just bad luck.
They do Aki dirty.
Yeah. But up to that point, she is in control of that first quarter of the movie.
Yeah, she's great.
She's fantastic.
Stupid.
Yeah. And then even though when Kissy is first presented as the demure marrying James Bond, they've got her all, dung up. I mean, she's totally competent. By the time, she totally throws him off by nope, this is just business. I'm a spy. You're a spy. Get over it. And so, and then it takes her a while to get worn down. So for me, and I'm just refusing to count Ms. Brandt as a Bond girl. To me, she's just a shitty, crappy henchman.
She's another one that drags my score down.
Yeah, she's beautiful. So, well, because of her, I'll give it a 006. But for me, after all of the uh, uh, girls who need saving, and or women who were villains who suddenly become heroes, we finally get two very competent female characters, and so I really like both of them a lot in this movie.
I give Cars and Gadgets a 006 because it's Little Nelly for the win.
Yeah,
I love that little helicopter and the fact that he uses every damn ordnance on that thing in that dogfight.
Yep.
It also has the cool little there's also the cool scene with the lockpick thing that counts down. It's like it's not quite silly yet. We have rockets in space doing stuff that could never be done.
Right.
But as far as his gadgets, devices, the car, her little white sports car.
Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, 006 for me.
Yep, I'm the same way. So 2 words, Little Nelly. Really puts her. So I said a 006 as well. I like the practical stuff. I mean, I like the fact that ninjas have stars. I mean, they're using throwing stars. I like the cigarette rocket launcher.
Yes.
That's cool. And of course, he's going to use it. I love the gadgets that they bury him in. So they have the rebreather they put him in when they bury him at sea. I love her car. That car is awesome. And Little Nelly is amazing. And I agree with you. He uses every single thing, and it makes plot sense.
Yeah.
So he has to he spends a few minutes trying to get his helicopter, get her into the gyrocopter, the gyrocopter above one of the other ones to drop the mines.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was really, really clever. And again, the one thing that brings it down are the fact that these ninjas have cool rocket launching bullets that we never see again, except for the cigarette.
Yeah.
So that one is a down for me.
Yeah.
And I guess another point down for me is the fact that, and I guess I should have brought this up with the plot. So the plot's interesting. The kidnap, the space rockets to make you think, but in the very end, Blofeld sends up a Russian rocket to go after the Americans. How do they now know? So before this, they had no idea what the object was behind the rockets. How do they suddenly know it's a Russian? Why did it matter that you have to have a Russian space capsule in it? So as I'm watching it this time for the first time in my life, I'm like, that part of the plot makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
And so for that, I knock it down. The fact that the device that Blofeld uses makes no. I mean, if there were satellites out there taking photos of it, that would make sense. But no.
I have only seen this one maybe 3 times. Okay, and it's been a hot and 2 of those times were probably at your house.
Yeah,
but it's been a hot minute since I watched it, and as the movie's going along, I'm like, it's missing something. It's missing something, and what it was missing is early on to have Q show up with all of his stuff and his snarky little quips about Bond and stuff. But then it happens later on, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, that kind of kept it at the 006.
Yeah, and I'm still keeping it 006. I think all in all, everything works great. And this is this is the most gadget-driven version we've seen so far. It's only going to go way out of control from here.
Yeah.
So Roald Dahl, I think it can be, we could put it on him that we went from the simple suitcase from Russia with Love to now we're to the crazy stuff. So
yeah,
which is cool.
Rocket pack. James Bond. I'm going to give him a 005.
Okay.
Because for all of the obstacles that are in his way, he breezes through it all a little too easily.
Okay.
Nothing, there's no real sense of like a laser beam about to cut him up the middle
Mhm.
or dangling over. He could have been dangling over the piranha pit or something. It just seemed a little too easy for him to just kind of coast through it.
Okay. All right. I gave him a 006 because I think he's confident, comfortable, suave. He's firing on all cylinders.
He really is.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what does it for me is knowing how much Sean Connery did not want to do this movie and how much he was done with Bond. He announced he was done with Bond during the filming of the movie. And I can't tell. There's no, I mean, believe me, Sean Connery later on, you could tell when he hates a movie that he's doing. And so
Yes.
you can't tell at all. He's just, like I said, firing on all cylinders in this one. And so he's very competent. And I think I like the playing off of, I think it makes him better to have competent uh female supporting cast. And so because he's kind of put in his place. So I like the fact that he is confident, he is honest, but there's still plenty of times he can put him in his place. You know, Aki tricks him. I mean, he gets tricked by Ms. Brandt. And I do like the fact that he actually wants, because he has to destroy the Bond persona, he actually goes undercover as Mr. Fisher.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so, like, for the first time, he's acting more like a spy. He's using I like the safe part. So he's got more spy things that he's doing in this one. So yeah, I went with 006.
I just feel that the fish out of water thing, because it was stated that this was his first time there when he was
Yeah.
talking with Tiger Tanaka.
Yeah.
So it may have been maybe instead of all that ridiculous stuff, maybe put some stuff in there where he's like trying to deal with the different culture,
Right.
and maybe to weaken him a little bit. But the fact that he just breezes through everything, yeah. But no, I see where you're coming from with it. He really is top of his game,
Right.
but he's a little
Too top of his game.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So now we need to do some math.
Oh boy, the part of the show I love.
We're gonna get demonetized.
We all live in it.
Kill Bond. Now.
All right. So, Paul, for your 7 scores, what do you give the movie overall on a scale of 007 to 0049? What do you give this?
I give it a 0036.
Oh, wow. Okay, not too far off from mine. I'm at a 0040. So pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple you graded a little higher than I did.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, so let us know what you think of You Only Live Twice. Go down in the comments, and does it hold up for you? Is it starting to show its age?
I will say, watching it again for the first time in a while, I really, really like this movie.
Yeah.
There's just that slow part in the middle,
Yeah.
or the third half.
The third
The
act.
third half of the movie
the
slows
third
down
act.
a little bit.
The third act.
But
yeah. Probably
but-
because the doll had the script was so paced,
Yeah.
so frenetically, and then we get to the island, and everything just.
But by the time the finale kicks in, I've already forgotten all that
Yes.
boring shit.
Correct.
Because again, that finale is great.
Yeah, it's great.
Bobby Peru, just like the country.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Moonranker. I'm Paul,
I'm Mark.
and this has been Moonranker.
We're too late. Well, at least he died on the job. He'd have wanted it this way.
Kill Bond. Now.